Graham, say what's up America, half of you should know me, right? Other half I rep.
Hey guys, Jack here, and today I wanted to bring you a video. It's a little series I'm going to be doing on my channel where I talk about how Arsenal have played in their games and give the players a player rating. So this one will be the Leicester game. I know it's about 2 or 3 days ago now, but I kind of wanted to, I was oohing and ahhing if I wanted to do it, and I do. I really want to do this because I love my Arsenal and I love talking about football. So first of all, we're going to talk about Pedicek. I believe he had a bit of a shocker of a game, to be fair. He didn't play that well. There's a couple of opportunities. I think it was the first goal where he came out into no man's land and was just Okazaki headed the ball in. He was just like, okay, just not going to stay on your line or anything like that. So, okay, so I gave him a 6. He didn't have loads to do, but when he did do something, he didn't do too well. So I'm sure it's just first game, bit of warm up. Hopefully doesn't do too terrible. But we've got a Spina to take his place if anything does happen. So I'm not too concerned about that one. Next up, I'm going to do Rob Holding. Not an awful game. Obviously the defence wasn't great, but I think that was more due to the position of the 3 defenders. You usually want to put your biggest and slowest really defender in the middle, and considering we had 2 fullbacks playing central defence, I would have put them out wide and left Holding in the middle because he was bigger and stronger than the other 2, so he would have been able to head the balls away a bit more. But considering what he had to do, he done his job. He made a few forward runs. Wasn't too bad. So I gave him 7. Nothing too bad. Monreal, for the same reason as Holding, I gave him a 6 just because he was in the middle. And then I think I looked up and he was like 5'10", and I know that's not that tall because I'm 5'8" and I'm tiny really. And I think he's your main guy in the middle. Obviously, I know the other guys are out, but I would at least put him like on the outside, put him on the right or the left, not in the middle. He's not a central defender. He would have to be one of the ones on the sides. But he wasn't great, kind of all over the place really. Next one, we've got, I can't pronounce his name correctly because I've only known him for a little bit. It's the guy, our new guy on the left from Schalke. I should call him the Tank because he is a tank. He played really well. A lot of attacking play. Defensively, hit and miss, hence why I didn't give him anything higher than an 8. But for what he had to do, for his first game at the Emirates, first proper, you know, if you don't take the Community Shield into a proper game, you know, it is a friendly. This is his first competitive game, and he played really well for his first game. So gave him a 8, nice and good. Next up is Bellerin, who's my boy. He's got on my back of my shirt. Again, a few hit and miss opportunities. He didn't play 100% well, but he's still done really well. A lot of attacking play, really bombing up the field. When he needed to get back, he got back nice and quickly, but again, not perfect. Next up, we've got El Neni. I gave him an 8. That's only because he was running around like a madman possessed. You know, everything, he was chasing everything down, closing down. There was a lot of energy and a lot of fight, and I like to see that in players. Obviously, he got the assist for Laka's goal. It was a lovely ball. You know, it was into the danger area, and it was more or less on top of his head. Laka didn't have to move. So I gave him an 8. Obviously, he did get subbed, so I couldn't give him anything too high. Next up, I've got Xhaka, who was brilliant in this game. I like him as a player. I know I like the people who like grit and just go, we're gonna win. I'm gonna pick up the ball and I'm gonna run, or I'm gonna, you know, stuff like that. The fire, the energy in him was really good, and he was so good last season. And if he plays like this, he's gonna be worth the money we paid, you know. So also pinging balls absolutely everywhere. He goes, oh look, 30-40 yards past. Yeah, that's nice and easy. Oh, it was ridiculous really, but I like him as a player because he can do stuff like that. And obviously he got 2 assists for the first 2 goals, so I have to give him a 9 for that. Next up, I've got Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's kind of the same with like Holding and Bellerin, is that he did play well most of the time, but he would lose the ball. He would try and take on like 3 defenders. You know, if you've got 3 people in front of you, you're not gonna win. It's like you just can't. You just can't beat them unless you are Messi or Ronaldo. Even then, they struggle. You're not gonna get past them all. So I gave him a 7 because he didn't do terrible, but again he didn't do great. Next up I got Ozil. I gave him an 8. He was really good on the day. He didn't do anything massively impactful, but he isn't just the player who gets the assist or the goals. He builds up the play. He will pick up the ball and go, I'm going to put this pass here, then that player will pass to the striker and they'll score. That came from Ozil's vision, what he can see, and he was running around like El Neni after the ball, constantly closing down, chasing the ball, and constantly trying to stay open. And I like that. I like it when people have got energy. So yeah, I gave him an 8. Next up, I've got Danny Welbeck. I also gave an 8 because he done the same, quick closing down, the aggressive play, putting pressure on Leicester, and he didn't do fantastic. I would have given him a 7, but for his energy and his closing down, I gave him an 8. Next up, the new striker, Lacazette. I gave him a 9 because 1, he got a goal, and it was a lovely, lovely clinical goal, and he weren't just attacking. He would come back and defend. He'll go and tackle players, and with Welbeck as well, another part of why Welbeck was also given an 8 is that they would together go and tackle players. So they kind of lost the ball and he'll go counter attack. It was really good. I was really impressed with his first game, and obviously getting a goal in his first home game is a huge thing, and I am really excited to see what will happen with him. It's going to be so good. Now we've got our 3 substitutes. Aaron Ramsey, obviously getting a goal. When he came on, he was just the boss in the midfield as well, creating lots of chances, creating lots of opportunities. But obviously he is a sub, so I gave him an 8. Not much. If he had started and done the exact same thing, then I probably would give him a 9 or a 10. Next up, Giroud, who is just the super sub. No, he's an A super sub. He's the super sub. He came on and he was a target man. He played very well with Lacazette, obviously both being in the French national team, obviously both speaking French and everything like that. They worked really well together. And last of all was Walcott. He came on and I didn't really notice him at all, really. It's kind of really disappointing because he's such a good player when he wants to be, but he's just so tiny. He can easily get pushed off the ball, and in them games where it's the other team are just sitting back and defending, he's not that kind of player. He's the, I'm going to beat you on the counter attack, I'm going to use my pace, that's what he's got, it's what he should use, but he didn't. So what can I say? And I'm going to give the manager a rating. I'm going to give him a 7.5, because I think the way he put the back 3 was dumb. You put your tallest guy in the middle because he's going to win the headers, but the substitutes made up for it and we won the game because of the subs. So 7 for terrible defensive planning, but an 8 for good substitute. Probably even a 9 for the subs, because they both, you put 2 subs on and both of them scored. Can't really complain about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, a little chat about the football. Leicester played really well. I think Vardy was definitely their man of the match. He was really good. He's the fox in the box, ain't he? So, but yeah. So then I will do this again for the next game. I think it's Stoke, if I believe. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.